Have you guys ever wanted to watch Captain Planet, Overlord, and Assassin's Creed? Well, if you did, then this show right here is perfect for you. What's up, guys? I'm 47 and welcome to Watch Plus. Got more content coming your way. So today we're watching a show called, or reviewing, not watching, because you're watching it, or I watched it, Mugen No Kyoukai. It is a 2001 animation by the studio's 5 Ways. It has 4 episodes, so a complete series this time. Yay! I'm also recording another series on the side. It's like 20 episodes long, so whenever that comes out, that's like an hour long, so have fun with that one. But yeah, so this one in particular, the reason why I say it's compared to Assassin's Creed, Captain Planet, and Overlord is because of the fact that we have our main character, Kengo, who is in his animus form, so that means the real world. He basically gets clapped the hell up, Yusuke Urameshi style, by trying to save a kid who ran in the street, and then the car ran him over instead of the girl whose name is Ryu. And when he comes to, he's in another dream world where he's this Chad figure, green armor, sees all these people around him. There's a massive grass terrain, as if this is like sort of online-esque, like Fantasyland material. The Overlord aspects are like, because this is like a dream world or game aesthetic, you have anything and everything going on. So instead of them fighting to death like Overlord, they're just getting assaulted nonstop. So you have montages here, there, and there. And it's a constant theme that as well. Like, the last episode is so bad at this, right? Again, this is a common theme like a lot of these shows. The entire world is capsizing, collapsing. The dimensions are literally tearing at the seams, and the people are having time just going at it with one another. Now, I get it because the villain's whole main purpose is to torture people, but don't you think there's a better thing to do other than just individually torturing one person or like 5 of your other evil minions? Like, come on, like you're trying to dominate the world, and you're letting all these lackey demon low-level tiers invade the entirety of the planet with military bombs, but your strongest sword is a stink. Like, that makes no sense. And the strongest character, called Gotti, who's basically like the anti-god of the dream world, is just like, yeah, this is good, I'm liking this, yeah, but he's not even in the fight. He's not even in the fight. Like, what happened was the evil people, who are the Kyoukai, are trying to revive Gotti. So all this dimension collapsing season I was mentioning earlier, that's to revive their evil lord figure, who is the incarnate of malicious intent himself, and therefore they can control the world. But instead of doing all of that, they're spending time assaulting random wards who are revived people from the real world. Which, okay, I will understand that they do this because they need to make sure that they get turned into their Kyoukai side. But if that's your whole point, why not make sure the whole world is burned down, so when it's just time to convert these angel ward mother into your demon side, then that's all you have time for, you know? These villains are way too horny to even have anything done. It's like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, we see Kengo revived into a figure called Altaro, and we later find out that Altaro is a fusion character, which is pretty cool, by the way. We had many hints drop along the way like this. That he was a fusion character, but we never took that as what it was, because I assumed when I saw that in episode 3 that she was talking like, oh, well, you're not the real Altaro because of the fact that, you know, you're not in the armor, or you're not in the dream world. But like, when he goes to the dream world, he doesn't turn. So we're getting many sounds. That's a little cool sprinkle of Easter egg right there. I kind of like shit like that, you know. It's not like in your face, you know what I'm saying? Pretty cool. So I would say, while the first 2 episodes are really important to build up the story, unironically, they're pretty much filler, because what it is they're basically taking the characters of Hitomi, Ryu, Futaba, Kengo, and Todoroki. They're taking all of them and showing how they progress into their dream world selves, and then they all get kidnapped anyway. So it's like almost pointless. Like, for example, when Hitomi, Ryu, and Futaba awakened, they were awakened due to some acts that happened upon them, and then boom, they get transformed and become either good or bad. Futaba turns bad because she sees Kengo, her love interest, the main character here in the animus world, the real world, constantly just flirting back and forth with all these other girls. She's a tsundere, she's mad at him all the time, almost irrationally, and it's just like, it's almost like it's so over the top, and I'm like, what the hell is the point of this? But the whole point of it was to build Futaba's character so she turns into a nightmare demon Kyoukai form because of her raging jealousy, right? And then you also have a figure like Neko in the anime whose whole point is recruit the wards, the people who turn into the dream world like final forms in the human world and turn them into evil beings. She did that to 2 people so far. But the problem is, once she turned the 2 people, they immediately got just clapped up and then they got reverted back to the regular state. So like either her turning people into the dark side isn't strong enough by herself, or everybody else on the light side is just way too strong and they can just revert without killing somebody. Because there's this battle here, right? And that whole battle, or parts of the battle you saw, was basically you had Todoroki, this Jotaro looking, turn into that Chad-esque figure you're seeing there, which is a demon form, to fight against the human Kengo and the human Hitomi, right? And right when he was about to assault the human Hitomi, she turns to this vine beast that was getting tortured in the first episode that Altaro saved in the first episode. So it's like massive foreshadowing, you know, and it's at the third. So
Hitomi-san! ひとみさんがKロシアの転生?
The final episode, where all the juicy bits are at, basically comes to this. So you got all the girls, you know, you got Ryu, you got Futaba, you got Hitomi, all of them just get transported back to the dream world because they got kidnapped the moment when our girl here, Sumero, aka Ace, aka the literal god of this planet that is sealed Goldie, the whole thing the demon Kyoukai is trying to resurrect in the first place. She's like, hey, you know what? I've been Lord of both the dream world and Watcher of the human world and Slight Guardian of the human world as well. Like, she's like literally ethereal godly being. She's like, you know what? I haven't felt love ever since I existed. And you know what? I'm so tired of this shit. Unleash the demons.
私は誰からも愛されたことがない。誰も私を愛してはくれない。どうして私が愛することなどできるだろうか。
And the moment she says that, the moment she goes, I don't care about him. The whole portal I was mentioning earlier about all the lower tier demons invading the earth, it happened. Like thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of them must have invaded. It must not have been that much. It was just literally just one city in one country. So it must have been like a couple thousand, right? But the fact that she had the power to stop all that shit and then it was like, is hilarious to me because all Altaro had to do, the fusion, was make love to the god form Ace, and the whole world is saved again. This is where sexism is based, right? If that emotional, no, I'm just Jesus Christ. But yeah, her being that emotional basically almost caused the entire globe to collapse, even though her own powers was the reason why the globe didn't collapse in the first place, because she's still Goldie. So it's just like that ending is so irrational. Like, it almost like all that build up kind of just stupid. But at the same time, it is funny to see the whole fusion come together. Like, we learning like, oh yeah, remember when I saved you, Kengo, from being turned into a demon by Neko? Well, guess what? I did that because I am you. That's right. It was kind of wholesome, honestly. I like the concept of fusion because it reminds me of the fact it is not a voice in people's heads, and there are voices in people's heads. And I like to think theoretically, hypothetically, esoterically, fanatically, well, that fusions work in a sense of sharing consciousness. Like, it's like Dragon Ball Z, like you just, one person gets a head conscious, the other one's like the backseat driver type shit, and you just switch whenever necessary, and that's just kind of a cool concept to think about. But regardless, so Altero, the fusion of both Kengo and Liang, go at it with her. Now the funny thing about Ace becoming a demon through this megalopolis-sized terraformer, anteater, disgusting, depraved, demonic beast right here named Yalan. She looks like one of those Studio Ghibli fear creatures right here. I don't know what the name of these creatures are, but she looks exactly like that. Make love to her there, kind of funny. Because basically, all Altaro has to do is just dodge Yalan's attacks of fire breathing and destroy
was cut off like
listen, the amount of assault on last episode, because that last episode was like 60-70% just like straight up just torture session, right? It's like, Jesus Christ. Cut that like in half. Have Altero fuse after talking with Liang about fusing and saying I'm part of you the entire time. The whole wonderful talk, because being at the dream world is like another like layer of awakening to be there in the first place. So that's kind of cool. Like to be like, we not only bonded in the real world, we also bonded here. It's like a wholesome friendship is magic type junk, right? So when you get that complete wholesome moment, you combine, you're like, and you start fighting, and this fight is just amazing. It's back and then you end it off with like, you have, like, you know, like the Vegito Big Bang Kamehameha type junk like that. Like you should do something like that, and like they're both like using their rings together like that, like Captain Planet. Like like this is another way to end this fight. It would have been amazing. We're like, oh my god, like jeez, it was great. But the way it ended, it kind of fits like what the theme of all they're doing is. So I'm not gonna take that away from it. So that doesn't make it a bad show, but it could have been way better. Like holy fuck, like I would give it like a 6 out of 10 for sure. Mainly because the problems I mentioned before, like the scaling. Like if you're gonna drop the entire protection seal of the Earth, why are they just attacking one city? Like literally one city with a couple thousand people in it. That makes no sense. It's almost like Ace's job to protect the Earth was solely limited on Japan's small district in where the city was based off of. Like so it's like, I am the protector of the Earth. Field gets broken, only attack one city. Like but yeah, I have rambled about this show nonstop. If this makes any sense to you, you are a god amongst men, and you probably could have fought Ace, and you probably could have entered yourself. If you want to watch the show, watch it with definitely with the volume off or headphones on for sure. Because there are a lot of scenes where it's just nonstop screaming in blood curdling fashion. All right, guys, I don't have an outro, but if it did, wouldn't matter because no one makes it from the video. Good night. Shout out to my shoulders.